Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite or Mike. I am Michael Cole here with Tony Schiavone and with Taz. And today on Dynamite or Mike, we're going to see the ongoing saga with Asuka, who thinks she is not being booked or written right, or being handled right in the TWF, Michael Cole says. She's already had talks with the owner, Xena, which she went over the head of some folks believe over the head of Godzilla and Gil Kim and Hunter Hearst Helmsley to get to Xena. Michael Cole said. Well, Tony Schiavone says it seems that out of nowhere now Asuka's got this belief going that she has been besmirched and buried and not booked and written well, and that wasn't always true. But she had two matches with Elois. She still is a two-time TWF 24/7 fighter. That winnings is still going on, Tony Schiavone said. Well, I can tell you something, Taz said. A lot of wrestlers sometimes feel that they're not being booked or written right. But very few wrestlers even understand beyond the wrestling ring the inner workings of the wrestling business. But Taz said, I do feel for Asuka, because just like I do feel for her in some ways, because I truly wonder. I do feel sorry for Asuka. She feels that way. Is it true? I don't know, Taz says. Well, we're gonna hear from this or not. And now here comes Asuka, the Kaiserin of tomorrow. Yeah, I know this isn't the now offshoot of my doll. The TWF only got two offshoots out of the many offshoots that Mattel had. They got the first one. We didn't get the two. We got the two-Ford one. Couldn't get the third one because it was worth too much on Amazon or Strong Woman. Got the fourth one. This will be that. And I know whatever I look like now, that doll's going to come out sometime next year. So, everyone wonders, am I angry? Am I irked that I'm not being booked right or written right? So, I have a talk with the man, or well, the being who handles the bookings, who handles the writings in a TWF. Since the half owner of the TWF, Xena, wasn't so much helpful, I thought that I could at least go underneath this time, and I think I'm going to talk with Godzilla, or Godzilla. Asuka, you have been in a TWF since the end of 26 between YL, and all of a sudden now you think you're not being booked right. All of a sudden now you think you're not being written right. What is this? The dirt sheets? What is this, Asuka? Is you listening to folks on the interweb again? Folks that say something like, oh, my beloved wrestler has been buried and besmirched and handicapped and weakened in some way. What, you're listening to you listen to those folks? Asuka, I think you have been booked truly well. I mean, look, Godzilla says, I think I booked you well when I took over. I have no running lead of what was going on back in the day when you first showed up. Yeah, TWF heavyweight fighter. 3-time TWF women's heavyweight fighter. 4-time TWF women's tag team fighter. 2-time TWF 24/7 fighter. I mean, what more do you want, Asuka? I mean, let's go to your WWE stuff. Oh, 2-time WWE women, 1-time WWE NXT women's heavyweight fighter, 2-time WWE Raw women's heavyweight fighter, 1-time WWE SmackDown women's heavyweight fighter, 3-time WWE women's tag team fighter, Keenly Loudness winner. I know a Gal in the Box winner. You know, a lot of folks may have fought, and you had the longest unbeaten streak, longer than Bill Goldberg had when he was in WCW. I mean, you came to WWE and 25th between YL, and from 25th between YL until 28th between YL, you beat everyone. Everyone on NXT, everyone on Raw, everyone on SmackDown. Then you took your first loss when you were in SmackDown. You went back to Raw and made up for some of that. You can't win them all. You win some, you lose some. Is that right, Godzilla? Is that right? So you're telling me I should not be angry. I should not be irked over my booking, my writing, I should say. That I should think I should have a higher standard than what I've been given. Oh, I think that it's just me going with my Two of Hell run, you know. And I think, Godzilla, I could wrestle you. But then again, Godzilla, you have been in the TWF since between 98 YL, won every winnings there was to win. Many time, sundriest time TWF heavyweight fighter, sundriest time world heavyweight fighter, sundriest time TWF tag team fighter, sundriest time TWF hard middle fighter. Yeah, King of the Ring winner, King of Loudness winner. Oh yeah. And Godzilla, we all know that somehow, some way, you seem to do a lot more than all the more as a non-wrestler and non-fighter. And I think, if you think, Asuka, that, oh, I love you too, Mom. And if you think that somehow I handicapped you, buried you, besmirched you, I have not. You know? You had your time on top. Your time will come again. Just leave it as that. Oh, I think that I should just spit in your lair. Oh! How you like that? I ain't afraid, ain't frightened of you. And you ain't ready for Asuka. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad, Michael Cole says. Asuka spitting in the lair of Godzilla or Godzilla. That's just wrong, Michael Cole says, for her behavior. Oh yeah, Tony Chevalier said, I stand with you with that, Michael. I think that was wrong of Asuka to do all that. Yeah, she might be irked or angry over her bookings or writings, but there's no need to do that kind of behavior. No need for any of that to happen. You know? Well, Taz said, you gotta get Asuka some thanks. She did what she had to do. Alright, Asuka, this is enough. You wanted to see me? Yeah. Well, you should have came to me first, Asuka, instead of going to Xena and then bitching to her when that didn't work out. Then you go to God Jorah and do whatever you did to him. You don't like how you're being booked? You don't like how you're being written? Asuka, I think you being back on the show, having your matches with Elois, being the TWF 24/7 fighter is a big thing. At least that's what I believe. It could be worse. You could just be laying, not being booked or written at all. But that's the way you want to behave like. So I think today you're going to fight Godzilla. That's what I think. You know? Take it or leave it, Asuka. It isn't the time or the stead to be talking about how you think you haven't been booked right or written right. So today, Hunter Helmsley says, you're going to be taking on Godzilla or Godzilla. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Well, the leadership under Force Center, the TWF, Hunter Hearst Helmsley just laid out the oversight, and today Asuka is going to meet Godzilla here on Dynamite. or might. Well, to be earnest with you all here, that's good to know, Taz says. Asuka already handicapped Godzilla, already weakened him by what she did. Oh! And Godzilla, I don't really think he can see very well, can he? Asuka, nothing more than a dirty player. An unfair player, Michael Cole said. Oh! And hitting Godzilla on a ring steeple. I've not seen Asuka behave like this since 29 between YL, when she first had her first hill run. Michael Cole says. This is sad, Tony Schiavone said. Whatever onlook Asuka may have gotten from folks in her long run in both WWE and the TWF, everybody should be ashamed if she's ashamed of herself. Why, Tony Schiavone, why should she be ashamed of herself? She's a Kaiserin of tomorrow. And at one time she was one of the most feared women, skilled women wrestlers in all of skilled wrestling. You know? And any wrestling business would be happy to have her. Taz says, she's done a lot. Sometimes I wish I could have stood up to folks who were handling me badly in my time with other wrestlers. But I didn't. Oh. So, Taz said, so you're saying Michael Cole said you didn't have the boldness to stand up to how you were being booked and written at a time by Stephanie McMahon, by Chris Kraske and Stephanie McMahon during your time in WWE, right? Michael Cole says. I didn't see you pull any stunts like that, Michael Cole said. No, I did not, Tony Schiavone said. And Taz, you had one standard when you were in ECW, but when you came to WWF, became WWE years later, that standard was not the same. Oh! And Asuka should be ashamed of herself, spitting in everyone's lair, whatever that stuff is, whatever that thing is. Oh! The first time Godzilla, King of the Fiends, has been in a downside, a handicap, and a weaken in any match he's ever been in or fight, Michael Cole says. Well, Tony Schiavone said, Asuka doesn't want onlook anymore. She wants fear. That's what she wants. Who's been talking to Asuka? Who's made Asuka believe that she should got fear instead of onlook? Tony Schiavone said, we'll never know. No, we will not. And Asuka's got the Asuka lock on Godzilla now. Will she get it on him? Godzilla's too big. There's really no way she can get it on him. Godzilla's too big of a doll for Asuka to get her Asuka lock on, Michael Cole said. And we all know the Asuka lock is an offshoot of the round Lear chicken wing, which Bob Backlund used to do when he was a skilled wrestler. And his 4 runs in WWF, WWF, and WWE. Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, Taz says. Just like how Samoa Joe did a move that was offshooted from the move I did, offshooted from what someone else did. She gonna choke him out. She gonna choke him out. Godzilla finally got out of the Asuka lock. We knew Godzilla got out of the Asuka lock. Jorah's out. Godzilla just hit Asuka with his tail and knocked her down. Well, great. Now Godzilla's doing the burying. He's doing the besmirching of Asuka, Taz says. And now Godzilla's getting ready to give her the Godzilla stunner. Oh, she just spit in his lair again. And now Asuka's going to beat Godzilla here today on Dynamite or Might. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Asuka. And Asuka has beat Godzilla, Jorah, here today on Power or Might. Here today on Might. Here today on Dynamite or Might. Michael Cole says. Yes, it is sad. That's what happened, Tony Schiavone said. Asuka had beat Godzilla. And some will say if Asuka didn't spit in Godzilla's lair like she did in the beginning, or in his eyes, she wouldn't have gotten the win, Tony Schiavone says. You got that right, Michael Cole says. Asuka should be ashamed of herself. So the way she's behaving, all the shit, all the stuff, all the things she's been saying, it's just wrong, Michael Cole said. Well, I do know one thing. I know one thing. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the leadership under force setter of the TWF, already told Asuka, shamed her off for her behavior. And now Gorilla Monsoon is now going to be talking with the force setter Hunter Hearst Helmsley. All right, Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Hunter Hearst Helmsley here. All right, Lord Force Setter. It seems that Asuka has going crazy, out of run, out of lead. Well, Gorilla Monsoon, I don't know how Gabrielle or Steve Austin or I don't know, let's say Angel or Rick, or Aladdin or Ric Flair handled it, but I know how I handled it. All right, the Spaniard may not have been William Gralisberg or Hakushi Tsukuda or Jack Tunney or you, Gorilla Monsoon, or Linda McMahon, or my Hunter Helmsley, or Adam Pearce handling of it. I did what I had to do. Asuka is starting to bitch and rant about how she's not being booked right, not being written right. I don't know who's been talking to her ear. I don't know who's been telling her shit, but we got oversights here. We got setups here. And I'm not going to have folks start doing shit. And if Asuka thinks she's being buried or besmirched, she got another guest coming because she is not. Anyway, Asuka should be, if she wants on look, she needs to give on look. And anyway, her behavior is not the standard of what anyone wants to see. So I believe Asuka should say she is sorry for everything she did to me. Well, to Lois, which he was unguilty of any wrong. Pulling rank, going over my head and starting shit with my head, Xena. And what she did to Godzilla, who by the way is the head booker and head writer of the TWF. Well, you are the leadership under force setter, the TWF. The force setter wouldn't also make you the booker too? Yes, I guess it would make me. But anyway, you hear me, Asuka? You are going to have to say you are sorry for everything you said and you did. Now I gotta go now because I am busy. Well, we just heard from the force setter, the TWF, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Gorilla Monsoon, for talking with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the force setter, the TWF, today here on Dynamite or Might. And that's all the time we have here. I am Michael Cole for Tony Schiavone and Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact on XS TV or Smash and Inside Farseer.